Okay, what we have here today is a two-deck, any card at any number effect. I'm going to show you the trick and then I'll give you the explanation. What you're going to say to your spectator is you're going to hand them this deck and say, just hold on to this, make sure nothing happens to this. If you're doing it for two people, it's probably better you give one of them this deck. If you're doing it for one person, just they can hold on to it, or just so they know, like, nothing, I can't touch it or do anything with it. Then we have this deck, which is a selection deck. It's all got all different numbers, 1 through 52, and just normal on the faces. And you tell them this is going to be an experiment in fate and destiny. And what makes up fate is decisions and chance. So you're going to let them make all the decisions. We're going to make sure there's a little bit of randomness and chance in there, you know, to make up this fate, experiment in fate. So when you first start out, you can have them select any number. They could pick any card, or you can say, if you want to make it more interesting, you can just cut the deck. Since we don't have a spectator, we're going to just stick with having cut the deck. But they can really cut anywhere, it doesn't matter. Then you'll take that selected card and put it aside. And you tell them, just to make it more interesting and add a little bit more of randomness to it, you selected this number 43. We're not going to use the back of this card, we're going to use the face of this card. Now, over here you can have them select any card, it doesn't matter which one. But you want them to select the card this time, you know, so they feel like they're more in control. You can just say whatever card you want, doesn't matter. Let's say they chose the 5 of diamonds. Right there, 5 of diamonds. So then you show them what card they selected here. This is going to be the card we use, is the King of Hearts. And over here, the number 35. 35. So we have King of Hearts, 35. Then they would take this deck, they would count to that number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. This is the 35th card, and it is the King of Hearts. And that's the trick. Stick around and I will show you the explanation. Okay guys, here's the explanation for the trick. This deck here with the numbers on the back, the selection deck, basically how this works, it's really simple. My inspiration for this was Mark Elsden's Infallible, which I believe he was, his influence was Trevor Duffy's fill deck. So I thought, like, we could use that same concept of selecting a number to get the face and then the face to get the number with a second deck to make this an ACAAN, any card at any number. So this deck is basically the predictions. They're all, it's like almost like a 52 out. I mean, you can't go wrong. So how this is set up, now you could put these cards in any order you wanted, as long as you could remember. Like, you could do like a brainwave stack where it's the 2 cards add up to 13 and it's in like chased order or something like that. As long as you can remember to get the cards back into the right order when you need to. I just leave them in new deck order. I don't see, you know, there are some discrepancies in this, but I don't think the spectator's really going to notice them, and it's kind of fun to have some discrepancies in there. So basically how this works, it's super simple. I wanted this to be more like a mentalism type thing. When I first came up with this, it was a while back now. I talked to Cameron Francis about this because he has a trick called convergence. I'd go check that out if you want something similar. But the spectator has to deal cards. It's a little more involved. I just wanted something to be more direct and more mentalism like. So this is what I came up with. So basically how it's going to work is, no matter what number they chose, like say they chose 24, they cut to 24, it doesn't matter. That card is the 9 of clubs. So the next one in the order is the 8 of clubs. If you turn that over, that number, the 9 of clubs, will be at 44. So all we're doing is when they select a card and we put it to the top, we're just catching a break. So when this card will be sitting here like this with the number up, and you say, okay, they've selected the Jack of Diamonds. Just that little bit of delay of, okay, now what's the card? 9 of club. They're not going to really remember that this should be the 8 of clubs back there. They're not going to really think of that. And, you know, if you turn it over quick, they're not going to really see it anyway. So you just take the double, turn it over, put it here. I mean, you could even, you know, take the double, give it a little flip like that. You could even put it on the table if you do it right. I mean, I don't see the point to that. I just flip it over, leave it there. And then you got your card. And then that's it. It's that simple. I liked Cameron Francis's you know, pattern on, you know, fate and destiny. Okay, just to reiterate how this works. This deck is set up. This deck is set up just so that, like I said, this stack, if you get this card, it's going to be at this number. So you just want this deck to, you know, you want this deck set up in that order. So 9 of clubs will be 44. The 8 of clubs will be 33. You just got to go through, however you set this up, you just got to go through it and then make sure this deck is in that order. I'm not sure if this trick is good or not. Like, when I first came up with it, I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know, like, it's one of those things, I guess you have to audience test it over time to really see, but it is very simple. But don't overlook that. I mean, I did want it to just be that way for mentalism's sake and to make it easy so anyone can do it. The one sleight is a double lift. That's really all it is. I know sometimes with 2 decks, people don't like to have 2 decks for one trick, but I mean, you have to just come up with determination whether it's worth it for you or not. That's it. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. Another thing you can do when you're flipping over the card is, if you really don't want them to see what's behind there, I mean, I really don't think they're going to notice, but you can do like a risk kill type move when you flip it over. I mean, I don't think it's worth it, but, you know, just something like that. And then they never see the card at all. That's up to you, just another thought.